SUVs that you should probably stay away from, unless, of course, you want to throw your money down the drain. These are the vehicles that, for various reasons, aren't worth your hard-earned cash. Let's get into it. Subscribe to my channel. It will help to grow up. 7. Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. The Mitsubishi Outlander Sport has been around for a while, and it's one of those vehicles that you'll likely forget about the moment you leave the dealership. While it's a compact SUV with an affordable price tag, it comes with a laundry list of problems that make it a less than ideal choice. Performance is one of the Outlander Sport's biggest issues. The engine options are underpowered, which leads to slow acceleration and a lack of overall performance. Whether you're merging onto a highway or trying to pass someone on the road, the Outlander Sport struggles to keep up. There are plenty of other small SUVs, like the Subaru Crosstrek or Hyundai Kona, that offer better driving experiences for a similar price. The interior quality is another area where the Outlander Sport falls short. The cabin feels cheap, with a lot of plastic trim and low-quality materials. The seats are uncomfortable, and the overall design feels outdated. The infotainment system is basic, and there's nothing to write home about in terms of tech features. Reliability is also a concern. Mitsubishi doesn't have the best reputation for long-term durability, and the Outlander Sport is no exception. Owners report frequent problems with the engine and electrical system, which can lead to costly repairs. If you want an SUV that you can depend on, you'll be better off with options from Toyota, Honda, or Subaru. Ultimately, the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is a lackluster SUV that doesn't offer enough in terms of performance, comfort, or reliability. While it may seem like a good deal at first, you'll quickly realize that it's a vehicle that doesn't live up to expectations. If you want a small SUV that delivers on all fronts, you're better off looking at other options. 6. Toyota CHR. The Toyota CHR is one of those SUVs that you might be tempted to buy because of its bold, unique look, but once you start driving it, you'll quickly realize that style doesn't make up for its many shortcomings. The CHR is a subcompact SUV that focuses more on its design than its functionality, and unfortunately, the latter takes a backseat in this case. First, let's talk about performance. The Toyota CHR is underpowered, with sluggish acceleration and a lack of overall excitement. It's great for city driving, but once you hit the highway, it feels out of its element. It struggles to get up to speed, and passing other vehicles is an ordeal. If you want a subcompact SUV that offers more pep, the Mazda CX-3 or Honda HR-V are far better choices. Inside, the CHR is cramped and uncomfortable. Despite being marketed as a compact SUV, the rear seats are small and offer limited legroom, which makes it less ideal for families or those who regularly have passengers. The cargo space is also limited, making it difficult to carry larger items, and the interior materials feel cheap compared to competitors in the same class. 5. Cadillac XT5. The Cadillac XT5 is positioned as a luxury SUV that blends style, comfort, and performance. However, it falls short in several key areas, especially when compared to its competitors in the luxury SUV segment. The XT5 is a vehicle that feels like it's trying too hard to be something it's not, and the result is a lackluster driving experience. One of the most glaring issues with the XT5 is its performance. The available engine options don't offer enough power for a vehicle in this price range, and the overall driving experience is underwhelming. The handling is sloppy, and the ride quality is far from refined. There are plenty of other luxury SUVs, like the Lexus RX or Mercedes-Benz GLE, that offer a far better balance of power, handling, and ride comfort. Inside, the XT5 doesn't feel as luxurious as you'd expect. While the cabin is spacious and the materials are decent, it lacks the level of sophistication and refinement that you'd find in competitors from brands like Audi or BMW. The tech features also fall behind the competition. Cadillac's infotainment system isn't as intuitive or user-friendly as the ones found at other luxury brands, and the overall interior design feels dated. Reliability is another concern with the XT5. Cadillac has struggled with quality control in recent years, and the XT5 is no exception. There are frequent reports of mechanical problems and expensive repairs, which is a big issue when you're paying top dollar for a luxury vehicle. If you want a vehicle that you can rely on long-term, the XT5 may not be your best bet. 4. BMW X7. The BMW X7 might be one of the most luxurious SUVs in the BMW lineup, but it's not as impressive as its price tag would suggest. This large luxury SUV is touted as a top-of-the-line option for those seeking the ultimate in comfort and performance, but in reality, it doesn't deliver on those promises as well as its competitors. Let's start with the ride quality. The X7 offers a stiff, harsh ride that doesn't match the smooth, comfortable drive you might expect from a high-end SUV. The suspension doesn't do enough to cushion the bumps, and while it's certainly capable of delivering decent handling, it's far from the plush, luxurious experience that a vehicle at this price point should provide. Competitors like the Mercedes-Benz GLS and Audi Q7 manage to offer a far smoother and more refined ride for the same price. The interior is spacious and comes with all the bells and whistles you'd expect, but it still falls short compared to other luxury SUVs. The materials are top-notch, but the design lacks the wow factor that you'd expect for a six-figure vehicle. It doesn't feel as fresh or cutting-edge as other luxury interiors, and the infotainment system, while functional, is somewhat clunky compared to those of competitors. When it comes to performance, the X7 is not as fun to drive as you might think. Despite its powerful engine options, it doesn't feel as dynamic or responsive as you'd expect from a BMW. The handling is solid, but it doesn't offer the sporty, engaging experience that has made BMW a brand known for its driving excitement. The X7 is more about comfort than performance, and even then, there are better options out there that provide more for the money. Then there's the matter of reliability. Like many high-end luxury vehicles, the X7 is prone to expensive repairs and maintenance costs. The sheer complexity of the vehicle systems means that when something breaks, it's not going to be cheap to fix. If you're someone who values reliability and long-term ownership, the X7 may not be the right choice. 3. Land Rover Discovery Sport. The Land Rover Discovery Sport has some serious off-road credentials on paper, but the reality of this SUV is far from impressive. While Land Rover is renowned for its rugged vehicles, the Discovery Sport simply doesn't live up to the brand's legendary reputation. It's a luxury SUV that offers very little in terms of off-road prowess, and its performance on paved roads isn't much better. First, let's talk about the driving experience. The Discovery Sport feels more like a heavy, cumbersome vehicle than one that's meant for adventure. The suspension is stiff, which results in a jarring ride over rough terrain, and the vehicle doesn't handle bumps or uneven surfaces well. On the highway, it doesn't feel as smooth or refined as you'd expect from a luxury brand like Land Rover. The steering is vague, and it lacks the agility that makes driving enjoyable. Inside the cabin, the Discovery Sport doesn't offer the level of luxury you'd expect at its price point. While the materials are decent, they don't feel high-end, and the design is starting to feel outdated. The infotainment system is sluggish, and the tech features aren't up to par with what you get from competitors like Audi or BMW. The seats aren't the most comfortable either, making long trips a bit of a chore. On the reliability front, the Discovery Sport is notorious for being a maintenance headache. Owners report frequent issues with electronics, engine problems, and transmission failure, which can quickly lead to expensive repair bills. If you're someone who wants an SUV that you can rely on for years to come, the Discovery Sport may not be the best choice. It's not as rugged or dependable as the name would suggest, and the maintenance costs are enough to make any potential buyer think twice. 2. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass is marketed as a rugged, go-anywhere vehicle with off-road capabilities, but in reality, it doesn't deliver on that promise. While the Jeep brand has a well-deserved reputation for making tough off-road vehicles like the Wrangler, the Compass falls short of living up to that legacy. It's more of a soft, city crossover than a true off-road warrior, and this becomes evident once you take it out of its comfort zone. On the road, the Compass's handling is unrefined, with a lot of body roll and a lack of stability. The suspension isn't tuned to provide a smooth ride, and the overall driving experience feels underwhelming, especially for a vehicle that claims to be off-road capable. While it can handle light trails, it's not the kind of SUV you want to take on serious off-road adventures. If you're looking for a Jeep that's actually built for off-roading, you'd be better off with a Jeep Wrangler or Cherokee, which are far more capable in rugged conditions. Inside, the Compass doesn't offer the luxury or space you might expect from a Jeep. The interior is cramped, and the materials used throughout the cabin are cheap, making it feel more like an economy vehicle than a mid-range SUV. The seats are uncomfortable, and the overall layout feels outdated compared to competitors in the same segment, such as the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V. Additionally, the infotainment system can be glitchy, and the overall tech experience isn't on par with what you can get from other brands. As for performance, the Compass is underpowered, with only a few engine options that don't offer impressive acceleration or towing capacity. The base engine struggles to move the SUV with any real power, making it feel sluggish when merging onto highways or passing other vehicles. The Compass also suffers from poor fuel economy for its size, which is disappointing when you compare it to other crossovers that offer better gas mileage and overall performance. 1. Nissan Juke. The Nissan Juke might seem like an interesting choice for someone seeking a quirky and compact SUV, but it's a prime example of a vehicle that's more about style than practicality. While it does turn heads due to its unconventional design, its appeal quickly fades once you look beyond its exterior. The Juke's small size and compact design make it feel more like a large hatchback than a true SUV. This wouldn't necessarily be a problem if the driving experience was enjoyable or practical, but it's not. The interior of the Juke is cramped and uncomfortable, with little room for passengers or luggage. It's not exactly what you'd expect from an SUV that should be versatile and family-friendly. The ride is stiff, and while it's technically all-wheel drive, don't expect it to handle rough roads or off-road conditions like a real SUV. The steering is vague, and the car has a tendency to feel disconnected from the road, making driving more of a chore than a pleasure. Another downside is the lack of power. The Nissan Juke comes with a small engine that struggles to accelerate, especially when fully loaded or going uphill. It's not exactly the most fun vehicle to drive, and that's a big issue when buying an SUV. You want a vehicle that can provide a bit of power when needed, especially for highway driving or family trips. Unfortunately, the Juke falls short in that department. As for fuel economy, while the Juke isn't the worst in its class, it's not great either. It doesn't offer enough savings in fuel efficiency to make up for its other shortcomings, and there are many other crossovers out there that provide better mileage and performance for the price. If you're after an SUV for everyday city driving, there are plenty of alternatives that give you more room, better comfort, and better fuel efficiency, such as the Honda HR-V or Mazda CX-3. If you're shopping for an SUV, make sure you do your research and opt for a vehicle that actually delivers value for your money. Trust me, your wallet will thank you. Let me know in the comments if you've ever owned one of these cars, or if you think I missed any worthy contenders. Don't forget to hit like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more content. See you next time.